My daughter started calling her father-in-law for advice instead of me. At first, I thought I was slowly losing my place in her life. When I finally asked her why, the answer hit harder than I expected. After my wife passed away, it was just me and my daughter, Ava. She was only 9 when it happened. One day we were a normal family. The next day, I was suddenly trying to figure out how to be both parents at once. I worked constantly after that. Extra shifts, weekend jobs, anything to keep us afloat. I tried my best to make sure Ava never felt how scared I actually was. And honestly, for years, I thought I handled it okay. She did well in school, stayed out of trouble, eventually went off to college. That's where she met Ethan. Good guy, respectful, steady, the kind of man every father hopes their daughter ends up with. His family welcomed Ava immediately, especially his dad, Mark. Mark was a complete opposite of me. Calm, relaxed, always available. He'd spent years working from home while raising his kids, so he was the kind of father who always seemed emotionally present. At first, I was grateful Ava had more people who cared about her. But over time, I noticed something. Whenever she needed advice, she called Mark. Car problems? Mark. Job stress? Mark. Questions about buying a house? Mark. Even small things started bothering me. One afternoon, she mentioned Mark had helped her choose her first car upgrade. I didn't even know she was shopping for one. Then she got pregnant. I was excited to become a grandfather. I imagined helping build a nursery, going shopping together, being part of the process. Instead, most of those moments happened with Mark and Ethan's family. One day, Ava casually mentioned Mark had already helped assemble the crib and paint the baby's room over the weekend. I smiled while she talked, but honestly, that one hurt. A few months later, she went into labor. Ethan called me while I was still at work. By the time I reached the hospital, the baby had already been born, and there was Mark standing beside her bed, holding my grandson, while everyone laughed around him. I congratulated everyone and acted normal. But deep down, something felt off, like I'd somehow become a guest in my own daughter's life. A while later, both families had dinner together at Ava's house, and I noticed the same thing again. Every time she needed help, she turned toward Mark first. Mark, can you hold him for a second? Mark, how did you handle sleep schedules with Ethan? He helped happily every single time. After dinner, Ava and I ended up alone in the kitchen cleaning dishes. And finally, I asked a question I've been holding in for months. Did I do something wrong? She looked confused. I took a breath. Because sometimes it feels like you trust him more than me. Ava stopped drying the dishes and leaned against the counter quietly. Then she said something I'll probably never forget. It's not that I trust him more, Dad. I waited. She looked down for a second before continuing. When Mom died, you were always stressed. Her voice wasn't angry, just honest. You were tired all the time, worried all the time. You worked constantly because you had to. I stayed quiet. Then she looked back at me and said, when I look at Mark, I see the kind of parent you never really had the chance to be. That sentence broke something in me a little. Not because she was wrong, because she was right. She quickly grabbed my hand after seeing my face change. You were still an amazing dad, she said immediately. You gave me everything you could. And I realized then she wasn't replacing me. She simply found comfort in someone who represented the calmer version of parenthood she missed growing up. Before I left that night, she hugged me tightly and whispered, "You're still the person who taught me what love looks like, Dad." And honestly, that meant more to me than being chosen first ever could.